Hey everybody, I am Omega. Welcome back to the Day Night Show matches. Today we are casting Dauntless versus Ottr, a Legacy of the Void best of 5 that was played actually yesterday. Quite literally. They played it like 2 hours before the deadline. Hey, look, deadline's a deadline. That means you can play anywhere in the 2-week time span before that, including 2 hours before. That's totally fine. I do find it funny though. Casting with me, however, is Mr. Zero Lander. Despite what it may say in the lobby.
Hello, hello. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
No. Okay, that's fine. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Anyway, this is a CVZ, as you can see here. I don't have any other information on these players from like the For Fun Questions standpoint, so I do not know what their most watched stream is. But I can say that I've seen both of these players play. Dauntless is definitely a diamond, maybe low masters level player. Ottr in the past has been around gold, maybe platinum now, and you can even see that on Legacy of the Void in the match that we're about to watch, she's actually gold there. Typically in the beta, if you're gold level, you're probably about low platinum, maybe mid platinum in terms of your skill level. So this is not as far apart as it seems. That said, we are looking at a ZVZ, so I gotta tell you, Legacy of the Void ZVZs aren't any different than HOTS in the sense that they can go real fast. So I'm interested to see how this match goes.
It should be good. Yeah, ZVZ is always really exciting to watch. It definitely comes into macro skill. Oh man, you're right. That Worgen portrait looks crazy.
Yeah, isn't that awesome? I was like, oh man,
that is
I've
pretty
never
sweet.
seen that before.
Yeah.
That's gotta be from like a couple WoW expansions back when they introduced them. That was before my time.
Pretty damn cool. All right, I'm gonna switch back to the intermission thing now because people are gonna see the timer if we do that. Load it. We'll get started.
There is actually a set of hotkeys for loading the like pause thing, or like with the everyone thing without it.
Oh yeah, no.
You can toggle it with Control T without ever actually looking at it. By the way.
Very good. Very good.
Anyway, the bottom of the map here we have on Orbital Shipyard. Yeah. This is Orbital Shipyard. We have our pink Zerg player. It is Dauntless.
And Dauntless's opponent spawning the top right-hand corner of the map. The orange Zerg player, it's Ottr.
Ottr breaking out that orange. You know, I gotta say, this is pretty good. By the way, have you ever thought about this? How many games have we seen where we've actually like mentally noted what detail they used?
I don't know. We haven't really looked at decals
think about
yet.
Ever really, isn't it? Like, but people actually do often pick different ones. And I've seen like a lot of the StarCrafts decal. You see, Ottr has like the paw print one, and then Dauntless is using. I think that's the feral one. Pretty sure it's like the.
Yeah, it's one of the basic Zerg ones, I think. Pretty cool.
It looks good. Like, you never really think about it. It's just a very subtle piece of customization that basically exists all over your base and your units.
Oh yeah, it's really great.
So what do you think of this map? I don't know if this map is in the HOTS ladder. I don't think it is.
I don't think it is. I mean, we got the 2 gold in the middle with the rocks. So, I mean, I don't know what you would really do with the rocks. That's kind of... I mean, maybe if you're attacking a gold base from the high ground, it just seems kind of tedious to really get in there to do any damage.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it looks fairly standard. It looks like it spawns 2 people. They both have like a back base, kind of safe, away, tucked in there.
The important thing, the important thing about this is that this is a quick wall-off map. This is something that doesn't matter as much in this matchup, but it actually matters anytime you're facing Protoss now, because Protoss Adepts, for the most part, end up behaving a lot like Reapers in the early game. They get into your base, they kill a couple things, they scout, they leave.
Yeah, nasty harassment stuff.
And the only real way to stop it, especially in PvP, from happening is to just full wall off in front of your base.
Right.
If you're a Zerg, it's harder. But the Protoss's window to do much to you is smaller in that case anyway. Just because Queens are good units.
Yeah. So here we got Dauntless. He's expanding to his own little tucked away base there. Ottr already had that idea a couple minutes ago, and she's working on getting drones, droning up on that one. Just now spawned
Actually
a roach
noticing
warren.
that Dauntless very much has, actually until just a moment ago, was really banking a lot of resources. It seems like the early game refinement for Ottr seems pretty on point with whatever build she's doing here.
Yep, you said they're both about gold level.
Still spending less. Well, they're gold in Legacy of the Void terms. In HOTS terms, Dauntless was diamond. So he's got very solid basics. Oh, Dauntless is being cheeky. Okay. No, he's not. Never mind. I'm going insane. For a second, I thought this was Otter's base, and I went down the bottom of the map.
So Ottr didn't click this overlord. We don't know if he actually saw these on the minimap, but these 4 roaches are moving up here. Gonna probably small bit harass here, scouting, you know, all that good stuff.
So I know for a fact that ours have been working on a lot of like macro-oriented Zerg styles lately, and these tend to not deal with this so great when you're learning them because you don't know the exact precise timings for like throwing down spine crawlers to defend yourself. So I'm kind of anticipating that this is going to do a lot of damage.
Yep, drones are going to be pulled now. Roaches kind of picking off a few here as they go. There's another one.
She's walking them back. Gonna spawn 14 lings, going up with roach speed. So it looks like Otter's overall plan is to still go up to roaches if she can manage it. She does have some lings for defense, and you're gonna chase the roaches out. There's no... Oh, there are reinforcements. Okay, 7 roaches will actually beat 14 lings. Surprise, surprise. So, okay, 18 more lings from Ottr. The thing is, she doesn't really want to be building lings. This is a great attack timing from Dauntless right now, because it hits exactly when she wants to be building roaches, and she can't really do it.
Can't really do that. She does have speed on these lings. It could get a good surround, but Dauntless is using the ramp to his advantage here. Lings moving in again. Can't get any surface area on these guys. He's hanging out near the ramp. Really smart.
On the other hand, though, this is really good for Ottr because it keeps them from killing more stuff.
Yep.
And she's just spread out here, and she's going to wait. Meanwhile, back home, Dauntless does have a third. He's building even more roaches, and he's basically looking to contain Ottr on these 2 bases and prevent her from ever picking up this third. Just expand his army until it gets to an unreasonable size, and walk in and kill.
That's a great strategy here.
The roach army is now so large, though, that just lings isn't really going to do a lot to this. You can even see this here. It's damaging them, might even kill a couple of the roaches, but for the most part, they do win this fight. They win really hard. Just
here we go.
That HP they have.
Gonna focus down this layer here. And Otter's gonna tap out. GG. Yep. Game 1.
So she went for a more long-term oriented build, and her opponent went for the counter to that. Just the nature of StarCraft, this stuff happens, and it happens a lot in mirror matches. Like, this is just really common overall. But Zerg versus Zerg, the potential for it to happen fast is the highest.
Yeah, no, super well done there by Dauntless. I mean, the timing was great.
And you know, it was just something simple. Walk in with the 4 roaches. You notice he hadn't even really committed too hard to that.
Right.
Like, he had a third base building up. If he saw defenses, he could walk him back home.
Yep. And it was really cool because he noticed that she was flooding lings and using up minerals on the defense. So I may as well keep pushing it there. And he had 3 bases at home, prepared to do whatever. So plenty of larvae, plenty of potential.
Okay, so we're moving on to game 2 now. This is on Moonlight Madness. Which, if you think about it, is still a crazy name. Like, this has to be a reference to something, like a song or something.
You saying the name is Madness?
Yes.
Madness.
There's no circular pit in the middle of the map, so they missed that opportunity.
Yep, but this is lava. I love lava. Lava tile sets are cool, but I prefer the Ottr tile set. Personally, that's my favorite.
Look really pretty, despite the fact that it should be covered in Zerg goo by now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it should be creeped up, but.
So in the bottom left part of the map, we have our purple Zerg player currently on 1 game in this best of 5. It is Dauntless.
And his opponent spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, the orange Zerg player. It's Ottr. So, how do you think Otter's going to switch up her strategy here? I mean, Dauntless kind of hit her pretty hard last game, the decent timing. You can see that Dauntless is going straight for it.
He's not stopping with that. This spawning pool I think this is the fastest spawning pool you can get. Yeah, he built a 12 spawning pool. So, this is like any other fast pool game that you've seen in the past, and the difference is going to be a lot more mining for the Zerg, because he has a lot more workers starting out. The timing window, however, is much thinner. You need to get these lings over onto the other side of the map and kill stuff, and you need to do it fast. If you're late, if you don't kill enough, you just lose, and you lose hard. Like, this game punishes mistakes with these fast attacks, like the cheese level stuff. This, gotta be careful. So, this could, either way, though, this game is going to be that long. It's just not. This is either going to get held really easily.
Yeah, and he's already moving across the map.
End the game.
Yeah, he's already moving out, and Otter's got a spawning pool. It's not even complete yet. She doesn't have any links here. No chance to build any sort of spine crawler.
She didn't scout it. So
yep,
like,
she expanded first.
Hatch first. This is like the only situation in where this is possible. But still, she can micro against this and in theory win. It depends on how she does here. Looks like she's not reacting at all. Hasn't pulled her workers to kind of stack onto the minerals. Now she's going to try and do that. And you can even see the Dauntless' reaction to that is just stay away from it. And the reason you have to do this is if you keep fighting here, you're going to be in some trouble. So now the drones are being forced to engage. More defensive links are starting to pop out. And it's going to make...
Wow.
So we kind of chip away at the forces that Dauntless has here. But even then, he's mostly just picking on the hatchery. And, you know, honestly, it just looks like Ottr just didn't want to deal with it. But I think she could help that, actually.
You know, I think so, especially if she had run the drones around the hatchery or something like that. But it's totally cool she tapped out. I mean, it's kind of a frustrating position to be in. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, that puts us at game 3. I know. Yeah, like, that's... Here's the interesting thing, right? What you're looking at in this situation is a case where the cheese just ended the game immediately. Note that this is in some ways better than it used to be before. Cheesy plays, you get them over quick. 1-2 minutes, you're on to the next game. So at least it's not going to waste a giant chunk of your time because it like kills part of your economy and then you sit there for a while while one of you thinks about it. Leaving.
Right,
doesn't
right.
know if they have to. Like, one thing I kind of appreciate is that this is... You don't have 3 minutes of it waiting to see if there's going to be a cheese. It just hits you.
Yeah, it hits you in the face, and then you're like, oh, well, next game.
Yep.
That's a big deal compared to Wings and Heart of the Swarm. I mean, a game takes a long time, and when you lose for a long time. It's not like, oh, game's over, let's switch. It's... I've been losing this for the last 10 minutes. What am I going to do to try and hold on? And, well, I'm not holding on. And there it goes. And that takes 5-10 minutes for you to crash and burn. It's excruciating.
And even those 2 base timing attacks, they get over a little bit quicker. The only thing about it, obviously, is the game's a little more intense because it doesn't have a nice rest period at the beginning. So, your mental space between the games is shorter. So it's definitely advisable to spend a minute just kind of cooling down before your next game because you're not going to get that at the beginning of the next one.
Right. So cool. Why don't we just hop into game 3 here? This is a Bridgehead Ladder Edition.
Okay.
And Dauntless is currently up 2 games. Best of 5.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was game 2.
I'm getting mixed up.
This is game 3. We are looking at Bridgehead.
Okay, Gertha, you have another game.
This has been popping into a lot of different tournaments, a lot of different... it's just been present in pretty much most StarCraft content. Everyone's familiar these days with the back rock entrance and interesting paths that you can take all across the map. Our 2 players, once again, are Dauntless here on the right side of the map here on Bridgehead. Our pink Zerg player currently ahead 2 games to 0.
And his opponent, left-hand corner of the map, the orange Zerg Ottr. Gonna try and bring it back this game. This 3rd game. Best of 5. Still potential. It'll win the next 3.
Yeah. So this is always just a rough position to be in. That match that sets up the match for a potential victory is often the most important in a lot of ways, just from a psychological standpoint. But right now for Ottr, she needs to really, really probably kind of assert herself quickly in this game and try and get a victory. Because if you can do that fast, your mind hasn't gotten sunk into the idea that you're behind too much yet.
She's still expanding first. No, I don't think I agree with that. Especially the way Dauntless plays. I mean, he's already got his pool. His pool's gonna be up in a couple seconds. He's gonna be doing the same thing.
He's going for a hatchery himself. So this is kind of a more standard opening on both sides. It's some combination of hatch pool or pool hatch. If that's happening, then generally speaking, their defenses will be up at about the same time. So they should be okay.
Yeah, it's just this
Otter's
is what
picking up a lot of gas.
Yeah, this is what killed her last game, though. Unfortunately, she expanded first and then dropped the pool, and Dauntless did that.
No, he's getting greedy in a different way. He's going for a real fast. Pre 2-minute third. He's getting this. He got the spawning pool just for kind of the theory that I might need defense, but he's actually not wanting to use it. He really just wants to build up his economy really quickly if he's going to do this sort of thing, or he's using it as a macro hatch. Let's see.
Otter spawning pool just popped. Researching that ling speed. Got just enough gas for it here. And, building some drones. No, actually lings. No drones coming out right now. So just going lings first. Smart move.
I can send these across the map, kind of scout harass a little bit. But, given her typical playstyle so far, oh, no. Is she going to build more? No, she's going up into Baneling, so she wants to make this a little bit more aggressive this time.
I like it. I like her Baneling play. We've seen this a couple games in the past from her, and does like to quote-unquote Baneling bust it. There's not really anything to bust here, but running Banelings into the drone line would be great for her, especially the last couple games the way they've gone. But she can move up here, and she's going to find this base. Be a nice nice pickup. She's going to see the creep spreading here.
Yeah, she scouts it. And she's visible, I think, now. So I guess she is just looking at this as a free base to pick off. I mean, in a lot of ways, looking Dauntless to defend. He can send a queen down there. It'll make it there eventually. I actually think he would have barely just enough time to pull that off. Send one link to attack the drone that was produced there. Nice move. I think Dauntless might just let that die, though.
Yeah, that's totally cool. The queen's gonna pop, though.
Yep, now here comes some more lings. That queen is going to die. It would be better for Ottr to pull the lings back and group them together. There we go. And this has speed, so this is looking really good for Ottr right now.
Yep.
She's able to do a lot of damage to this hatch and take it out. But of course, back up here, we have a defensive line starting to be constructed. We have a queen, we have some lings for Dauntless, we have a spine crawler going up. And it doesn't look like Ottr wants to push the issue, but if that's the case, she should really get a third.
Yep, Baneling Nest is now complete too, so she does have that available to her in her arsenal. Using some of that gas though to the lair. That's where she went. Lair. Baneling's coming down. Dauntless just outside of the vision, so he's not going to see this real quick. He does have adequate defenses up here though. There's a spine crawler, got some lings, and a queen's waiting. So.
A roach warren here. So it looks like we're going from here into just normal ZVZ. Ottr might be thinking Mutalisks though. Not sure. She still hasn't thrown down a roach warren. Here comes the ling attack with some Banelings.
Oh!
How good is this going to be? Banelings are in the middle of the line, but don't explode at all. Unfortunately, she might have needed a manual activation of a couple of those. Would have done real well, taking all of them out pretty much.
Yep, she let him just...
It's unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate that she didn't make any connections there.
Let him go off on the lings. I mean, she just kind of A-moved in there and didn't really control those. That would have been... Oh, man. So many drones would have been dead. Still up 2 workers. Dauntless is over Ottr here. He's got his next base. He's replenishing his army. He's got 2 roaches on the way now, too.
Yeah, and the thing is, with an attack like that, the most important thing really is hitting the economy in a ZVZ. Because, I mean, they can produce units so easily. It's just a matter of making sure you have those injects. Make sure you continue to produce those units. As long as that's happening, really the most important thing is not losing drones. Because then, you're forced into making a choice. The choice of, do I build more drones or do I build more army? and that's depending on what your opponent's doing, which you can't see in most cases.
I think Dauntless thinks it's safe enough now. He's going to drop this third. Both players floating over $1,000 here in minerals. Plenty to work with, but not very efficient spending. So I mean, you know, if both of you don't spend very well, it doesn't matter.
It's coming down to basically how they intend on really just producing a lot of stuff at once, because Zerg production is like big chunks. So we might see a really large amount here, and then it might all get spent in one moment. In this case, though, I think they both have a little bit too much minerals, and it's just because they weren't able to get, I think, out into the map and get that third very quickly. So they ended up just mining way more in ratio to their gas than they're probably used to.
Right.
And now it's actually starting to get pretty out of control, because like Dauntless is expecting to have this third up far quicker, but it got destroyed. He's having to rebuild that.
Yep.
Now, keep in mind, both players are dealing with smaller mineral and gas patches, so the mains are actually starting to mine out.
So the third. Ottr was poking at it with a ling here. Queen came down and shooed it away. So it did lose some HP. So she knows that.
100 damage.
Yeah, she knows that it did come back up. A little bit of time here to kind of work on things. She's got upgrades coming out for these roaches. She's got the +2 missile and +1 melee as well. Actually, gonna move out with that. Okay. And those should be complete by the time she attacks.
So this is another Baneling. This is another attack. This one's centered. Actually has a nice composition of units, lings, roaches, and banelings that unfortunately rallied far too close. Back this up a little bit. But, because unfortunately he's going to see this happening. He's going to try and move forward to attack the lings, but here are the roaches, and this is actually a vastly superior force for our Orange Zerg. She's going to push everything back, and now she's going straight to attacking the army and the hatchery. The hatchery will fall in short order here, and she'll be able to take out these drones as well. But we can also see Dauntless is building a spire, as well as 16 more roaches, and don't seem like they're going to spawn right here and die probably immediately. But this is not looking so good for our King's Zerg.
Yeah, it looks pretty scary. Otter's got a really handy roach force here. Roaches now, they're going to be fighting on creep. Going to try and set up this concave.
So unfortunately, there is a minor problem here for Ottr that's going to turn to a very major one shortly. There have not really been roaches turning across the map just now. And it looks like they're going to get here a little bit too late. Not even roaches, just lings. But without the added reinforcements, the defender's advantage of Dauntless should allow him to eventually hold this off. He is taking some serious losses in the process.
Yep, lost a queen, a couple transfuses going down on those roaches, but, I mean, defender's advantage, these roaches are pushing out, fighting at the top of the ramp. Otter's just going to slowly bleed out here.
Yeah, and this is just one of those things where I think when she caught the third, she could have been free to back off. You can see she's realizing that now, but she's realizing it far too late. She's lost a lot of roaches, and now her opponent can build up a roach advantage. Where if she had backed off after killing the third, she knows, cool, my opponent's about to mine out, I can just build more roaches, and I'll eventually just have more stuff to now. It's just an unfortunate little tactical error there.
Yep, both players haven't really adjusted to the economy yet. We're over 2,000 now for each set of minerals, but Dauntless, I mean, he's had bad luck. He's trying to get this dumb third base up so he can actually spend some of that stuff. He's going to expand a fourth.
Yep. And really, honestly, one of the biggest things that harms him so far in this is just the lack of larva, like you're saying. It's really makes it difficult to actually spend all those resources. But now he's at 1,000, he's got a spire. So I'm actually wondering if he plans on switching into mutas after another fight.
He's got enough for about 10. Gonna be pretty solid muta ball here.
Mutas really have to come out of nowhere, though, because Zerg can just plop down 2 spores each base, and they are protected from mutas for the rest of the game. So
right.
It's one of those things where you gotta do it when they don't see it coming. You can't, when I say don't see coming, I mean you gotta get rid of their overlords. You gotta have a nice planned out route with no scouting on it.
Well, Ottr suspects this anyway. She's going into Hydrotech too. Oh no, that's Dauntless. Never mind.
Mutatech.
Otter's going to Mutatech. Yep. I was going to her own.
Maybe for Corruptors, we'll see. But this is the thing. This is in this position. Oh, he wants to get lurkers.
Lurkers.
Okay.
Lurkers. Interesting.
For some reason, I've always liked Lurker Dan. If you look at its finished picture on the production tab, I've always like kind of seen that as a hat for some reason.
A hat.
Yeah. And not like a small version of it. It kind of looks like one.
A hat.
Little spiky hat.
Interesting.
You could oh, dude, that would actually be kind of cool. A little beanie with some spikes on it.
Or a zergling.
Yeah,
I think that would be.
Walk around with a zergling on your head.
I think it'd be too close to a head crab. People would think you're repping Half-Life.
Probably.
But no, I do like the lurker choice since Ottr's so heavily. I mean, we see her push into roaches a lot during her show matches. She plays pretty heavy roach play, and she's got some mutas of her own. But these lurkers are going to tear up that ground army if he can get a few out here before they get here.
Really think Ottr should get out there now. She's got a 50 supply advantage. She should really be pushing the issue. But it looks like she's too caught up with macroing.
Yep, and he's morphing his hydras, so he's not going to have a whole lot of anti-air here. Purely ground.
Lurkers are a great choice, but they can... The thing is, the lurkers tie you to a single spot, and this situation can be very scary against another Zerg. Because all the Zerg has to do when they see you planting those lurkers down is just go to another base. Not even with all their army, just leave some there and be like, okay, move your lurkers now. Defend your other base. Cool, and then you kill the base they left. It's like, with some good unit control, you can really wreck their lives with Zerg. I mean, it's one thing with Protoss or Terran, it's a little bit harder, but... Okay, we got a lot of roaches stuck in choke point. That's never a good time. We got some lurkers setting up. They're going to set up right there, and that'll defend the main, but she can just, like, run a couple links up there. Oh, you got lurkers, and then run around to the fourth base and just keep killing the production. But looks like she's going to go head-on into lurkers. This is an extremely scary idea. There's a decent amount of hydras here now, and they're actually cleaning up the mutalisks on top of all this, and oh my gosh, that was really brutal.
Lurkers shred all of these roaches.
And the hydras are just enough to kill the mutalisks. And again, that just... Oh, man. Yeah, that's why it's always a good idea to send a couple units forward to see what kind of response there is.
Yeah, she just walked right into the meat grinder there, and now Dauntless is going to move across the map here. He's going to mount a counterattack, and doesn't have a whole lot in the way of army now.
Just could have had this one though. Like, she could have hardcore taking that base down here, swoop up, take the other base. Now you note that he has lurkers. He builds some overseers, start spreading out. Like, lurkers are going to be great at holding a single location if they're all packed together like this, but they can't hold multiple ones.
Yep.
Now here's the thing, there's really just no air cover anymore, and there's enough mutas to scare this off. So this game is not over just yet.
Not quite. A couple more hydras here trying to move into reinforce, and Muta's picking them off pretty handily, but that's not going to stop the ground army.
Daunt's kind of recognizing that he can just walk in. And the mutas should clean this up actually fairly quickly. There's a lot of them now. Back home, we have Dauntless trying to build more hydras. There's a lot of hydras here now. Is this enough, though?
Should be plenty.
I think he's trying to screw with her focus fire by stacking them all together like that. I mean, it worked to an extent. Still, though, none of the ground army is able to get in here. It just isn't happening. And she just keeps funneling in more and more circlings that just can't reach.
Losing ground here. Dauntless going to move in, pick up this hatchery. These mutas can't kill these roaches fast enough. Wow. Kind of scary for Ottr.
Cleaned it up though. They're finally all falling. Meanwhile, back home, we can see the Dauntless is just building a few more hydras. I think he's getting a bit resource starved here. He doesn't have his natural anymore. He does have 2 mining bases, and we're looking at 39 workers to 53. Otter's actually in a very solid place if you don't count the inability to deal with lurkers.
Yeah, pretty solid still. She could easily bring this one back, no problem.
Yeah, she does only have 1 mining base, which is a little bit concerning.
Got some long-distance mining going on, but that's not going to be sustainable long-term here, fortunately.
I think one of the things we've seen with Ottr all the time is that she tends to, like, really tunnel. And she really underestimates her power in these situations. I think we're seeing that right now. She does not really need to push. She can just build a couple bases and she'll be fine.
She could, these roaches.
But
no.
And even then, she knows that this location is protected, so why not send 3 roaches around the corner and just hit this top location? Maybe she doesn't realize it's there, actually, because she scouted it. She doesn't have any idea that base exists. Okay. I have a feeling if she did, we would be seeing a lot of counterattacks happening.
Right, and there are a lot of Hydras here now, so the mutant count is pretty much nothing. And these lurkers are going to move up.
Random drone. Oh, almost nice move. Does pick off one lurker, but again, you can't fight under the umbrella of the lurkers. It's much more dangerous than fighting under the umbrella of Sergeant Hand.
Ouch.
Much more dangerous.
Much more dangerous.
Can you imagine if there was like a lurker? Lurker hero?
Oh, no. We already have Zagara. We don't need another one.
Better yet, there would be a hero called the Zerg Swarm, and it's just different Zerg units. The GG. Holy crap, though. Ottr's a lot better than when she started.
Yeah, no kidding. That was pretty good.
This guy's diamonds. Nearly... Two of those games, I think she could have won. Two of them. Oh, man. Good to see. Good to see.
It's pretty good. I mean, moving on up there. Could totally have that next time. Dauntless, though, he's pretty scary. Congratulations to him for taking that best of 5, 3-0.
No, yeah, solid control, and more importantly, solid decision-making. This guy knows what he's doing. That second game, throwing in the cheese game there, it is what it is. Cheese sometimes kills you, and nothing you can do about it.
Right.
But, like, the timing attack, excellent move. Kind of considered his opponent, figured she'd be weak to that, and launched straight for it. Third game, the lurkers were kind of a desperation play, and admittedly might not have been enough, but it worked out.
Yep, worked out. Ottr was throwing units into him, and he got a lot of freebies out of that, and that allowed him to swing back.
So now I'm checking the chat here to see if we have either of our players. We do not, so there will be no interview section after this. We are essentially done for the weekend. We have one more match that was technically sent in. That is Gurthang versus Pro, but that will be casted next time in 2 weeks on the 31st.
31st?
That will be the first match we cast on that day. So I will see you there, Mr. Gurthang, for that match. And look forward to it. Because it's also Legacy of the Void. High five for Legacy of the Void.
High five for Legacy. Yep, just want to make sure, too, everybody knows that once Legacy releases, we'll not be accepting any more Heart of the Swarm games. We're going to be moving to 100% Legacy.
Technically, I should point out that first weekend will be a mix, and the only reason for that is that the game gets released in the middle of a 2-week period. So there will be a few games that we receive from before that we will cast.
Yep, anything past that point.
Once the game is out, you may not play Legacy of the Void. I mean, you may not play HOTS. You may play Legacy.
You can't do either one.
You can't play any more
Go
StarCraft.
home.
Quitting. Nope. No, I'm just kidding.
And yes, Loopy, we are done for the weekend. So, thanks for hanging out, guys. Gurthang and Loopy being active in the chat. We appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
we'll see you guys later.